Hello, SpeedGaming! Welcome to the next match here for the Metroid Prime Cross Game Cup 2023. I'm joined today in the booth by TGC. Hello, hello.
Hello, how are we?
And we're having another match between Dacian and Lucarius versus Altair and Java. This has been a quite twisting tournament, if I'm allowed to say. Somewhat.
Yes, if we look back at the results so far, and I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen them yet, we've definitely had some upsets compared to probably what a few people thought were going to happen. So even though there are like favourites, and I would very much say that in this block, this group, Partners in Prime are one of my favourites to win this group. Randomizer can do what Randomizer does, and you never know exactly how it's going to play out. So these upsets are exciting to see, and that's kind of why we're here. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. So, for anybody that is unaware of the CGC, this is a two-person tournament where one person plays Metro Prime, the other person plays Metro Prime 2, co-op in a multi-world, which means Prime can have Echoes items and Echoes can have Prime items, with the goal to beat the game as fast as possible, of course. And this is the first time we've been doing group stages. It's been quite interesting so far.
Yeah, it's a change in format from what we're used to. So we are looking to see how it works. We've effectively got three groups of 7 teams each. Those groups are going to play each other once, round robin style, and then and I want to check, I think it's the best three of each group will proceed into a single elimination bracket. So over the next few weeks, you're going to see a lot of our teams vying for their wins inside their individual groups. And then we get to go back into the kind of the standard style we see for the single elimination period. But yeah, the groups are very different, very new, something very exciting from us. We want to see how well this does. And yeah, it's going to be a good, fun time. So we're just letting the timer tick down. We're going to release our teams on the hour mark. We are still dealing with a few cropping stuff, as you can see. But yeah, folks, what do people think? What are we excited to see? What do we want to see from our Cross Game Cup randomizer? Want Echo Bombs to be late. Dark Burst is used to break logic. Could happen. I could see Echo's bombs being late. Not too sure how familiar Dacian is with Dark Burst or Bombless Bomb Slot strategies. If they pull that out, that would be exciting.
I mean, Dacian is playing Prime.
That is a very good point. Dacian is playing Prime. Lucarius then.
I actually don't know either. I've been playing a lot with Dacian lately. Great player. And I've seen both teams play. Both teams can play well. And I'm pretty sure we'll have a good show here.
Yeah. Like, I'm not too familiar with Altair and Java and their playing. I've not practiced against them. I've not looked back at any of their content, so I'm definitely here to see how they perform and how they kind of go up against Partners in Prime. But I've definitely played Dacian and Lucarius as part of last year's CGC tournament. I've raced against them several times since then, so lots to see what's kind of going on.
And looking at this up till now, this is the second match for Partners in Prime, first for Java and Altair. So Partners in Prime were able to take the first victory. Question is, will they be able to take another one?
And the runners have been released, so we will obviously catch up ever so shortly, and we will see what happens there. So yeah, for the RAs on this one, there isn't too much going on. On the Prime side, they are just replacing some of the nothing items with additional missiles, just so there is none of these blank items in the item pool. And then for Echoes, we're changing up from the Great Temple start to a landing site start with the initial gates unlocked there. and with the addition of missiles input to the pool, so that we don't see the ATMs there. So outside of that, pretty much everything else is standard. You're going to have your normal elevators and no random starts, anything, nothing exciting on that front. But yeah, the folks will now be beginning. So Prime players will start in the landing site. Will probably be going for the space jump first trick, whereas Echoes will also be starting in landing site, but will have the slow walk to either Aegon or choose to do Temple Grounds loop. So Dacian gets the space jump first dash fairly quickly. Altair just ever so slightly slips off, which can happen. And we just have a missile expansion in Alcove there, so nothing too exciting, but it does give Echoes their priority drops, which is always nice. So just an E-tank behind the ship and landing site on Prime. And the one major thing to note about this tournament is we start with missile launcher in both Prime and Echoes. So this does allow the Prime player to immediately go into Artifact Temple, collect their 9 artifact hints, pick up an item, and then begin their journey. Whereas in the Echo side of things, their missiles just allows them a little bit more of an expanded logic, but it's nowhere near as significant as Prime will have in comparison. So Dacian's going to be the first one to get to artifact hints, whereas Jav finds, Morph Ball. Oh,
Oh god. So
we're still live?
Screen went black. Not good.
Yeah, channel's just gone. Oh.
Okay, it looks like we're going back live.
Yep. Chat, you may hear our voices. Yep. So give us a moment and let everything figure out where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, artifacts were missed. We're probably gonna see them again at some point.
Hopefully we see them again. But to be perfectly honest, oh no, we've got an accursed lake one at least. Junction site. Warriors Walk. I missed that one. So we've seen a few of them, like 4 or 5. Hopefully the runners pick them back up, but currently I don't know about you, Jay, but I can't see much in the restream side of things, so I'm watching from the Twitch page. But at least it is live. So Java finds unlimited beam ammo for Echoes in transport. No, it's not transport. Temple Assembly site, that one. Whereas Lucanius is immediately into Aegon here and finds themselves an STK. So I'll just try and catch up and get our bearings here. So both Prime players are heading most likely to the Root Cave area because we do have immediate access here. So this is going to be one initial check. And having looked at the trackers, the only item that we have picked up of major importance is an X-ray visor, which is actually very common with Randovania these days. So what Randovania tries to do is it looks at the game world and says, right, what can I access and what do I need to place down to open up more avenues of access? And one of the common things we tend to see is that it'll look at X-ray, it'll look at plasma, it'll look at grapple beam and potential to open up Root Cave here, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it actually uses Root Cave to place an item. So the fact that we're seeing X-ray is kind of common. It's either a 50-50 roughly on whether you'll actually see something behind it, but it is good to find because it is an item that we want for later down the line in some circumstances. So yeah, Prime players heading to Trozo. Dacion's already there. Lucarius is doing Bomb Guardian currently. Has just bopped it, so we'll see what we get. There's Java is on heals, entering Aegon for the first time. And it's just a missile on Bomb Guardian, nothing too exciting. Echoes also has bombs. Ah, okay. Yes, I can see that from Lucarius, that's good to know. So that does give us access to the Jump Guardian loop there. We will need to do it normally through the vanilla kind of pathway, but I would expect to see Lucarius, if he decided to go that direction, would do the bomb jump to skip most of it. So Dacian is at Hive Mecha, finds an E-Tank, finds more missiles. It's looking not far off for Prime players to end up in BK, but there was a space jump found. I presume that space jump was probably behind the gallery wall, considering Altair has not yet located it.
So much for the late echo spawns, by the way.
Immediately debunked.
What I find interesting is most people that are a landing site start and echoes actually activate new patcher. This is not the case for this race.
Yeah, so this is the old patcher, we want to say. So there is a little bit more nuanced GFMC logic. So they will be hard required to find main power bombs or screw attack to enter and potentially leave. There is also the niche situation, they might just find Seekers and Dark Visor and are expected to go into Great Temple. But that's less likely here. But outside of that, there's not really a whole much else the patcher really offers from a functionality side of things. There's a few cool customization stuff and a few puzzle change-ups, but they don't drastically do too much. Now, Altair successfully gets the Hive Mecha skip after a few attempts. It can be a bit tricky.
And Dace gets Varia from the grapple ledge. Nicely done.
Ooh.
That's interesting. Given that Prime does not have Morph Ball, that gives us the opportunity to have Morph Ball and Triclops. And that's Light Beam.
Yeah, that's...
And that's bombs.
And that's bombs. Okay, so Morph Ball locked bombs on the Prime side, so that's good information at least.
Yeah, it is. And also the lower Ruined Shrine item is a Prime item. That's also good to know.
Yeah, because you can kind of tell what... if a room has multiple items, in multi-worlds, if a player picks up an item and you get a HUD memo, then you know that it shares an item with the Echoes player. Now, if a player goes in and there's no HUD memo at all in that room, then you know all of the items are Prime player-related items, which is good information. Now, definitely looks like from Dacian, they're going to go into Magma from here. There's nothing else really to kind of focus on. This kind of makes me feel like it's going to be Morph Ball and Warrior Shrine. I don't know how often I see that, but it happens a lot.
It is possible. So currently in Magma we could have Morph Ball in Lower Fiery Shores. Warrior Shrine itself, we could have it in Triclops Pit. But this is probably the best option possible to do right now, given that we have no further checks in Chozo itself, so going to Magma right now is really strong. Also, I think Altair did not peak the Prime bombs.
Altair, I think, has only just got Space Jump as well, so I think because they ended up triggering the Beetle battle, which suggested they didn't have the height to get over the trigger, so the Space Jumps came in during that fight there. So they probably just forgot to kind of do a little bit of a nosy and see what there is.
What I'm asking myself is, both players do not have grapple, so that barrier suit is not a logic yet, in theory.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. So that would kind of suggest that if Magma is the play here, then Grapple Beam is somewhere in the Echoes world still.
Yeah, Grapple Beam would be somewhere soonish in Echoes.
Now, we do have Lucarius in Dark Aegon here doing that initial loop, and this is getting a little bit butt clenchy as we are energy low.
Well,
But
but Echoes has a...
Dacian. Oh, go on.
I'm sorry. Echoes has a really good priority drop system where if you're low health, you'll actually get a golden drop which will full heal you if you have no
Yeah.
E-tanks.
It's
Yeah,
not
heal.
always guaranteed. There are like some really, really small percentage chance that you can just get messed about, but for the most part, you'll be given that gold and you'll be scot free to kind of run home in the Dark Aether.
Also nicely done Arbor Chamber out of bounds by Dacian. So out of bounds will never be in logic, but depending on how much checks you have, it is a good play to just do it and get more checks out of it. As an example, right there, Dacian did not get a major out of it, but also didn't really lose time, and now has the info for when Plasma Beam comes into play. This check is just nothing.
Yeah. And it looks like Altair is following along on the prime side of things, but after a kind of failed Root Cave dash, is just going to push on into Magma, which isn't bad. Considering we don't see much that Dace has actually picked up, this is actually kind of good for them. They're not wasting that time redoing the dash and potentially getting nothing out of it. We can
I'm
see that
also
Java is now heading into Dark Aegon as well.
I'm also questioning what we got X-Ray for right now, because if nothing's in Root Cave, then X-Ray is kind of a...
Well, that's what I was kind of saying earlier on. It's not always guaranteed that X-ray is actually for something. Like the Randovania has the ability to place an item just to open up the game world and allow more checks to become available. Whether Randovania uses those locations is a separate line of code, effectively. So what could have happened here is that X-ray has gone down, and then Randovania's just decided, nah, I don't need that. But it's one
And
of those things that
Morphball...
oh, as a runner,
So,
you never know.
so Morphball is not in Prime.
Ooh.
Amber on Jump Guardian. Oh, do we have Morphball in Sandcash? I'm... Oh, Morphball could... I'm gonna be quite honest. I guess it's good for getting the bombs, but I would have probably not safe reset here, given that we have very limited options and Morphball will be around soon.
Yeah, it's Morphball being the next major thing that will allow Prime to move. It really depends on what you prioritize. I kind of like the save reset because we have available knowledge of where bombs are. If I didn't have that available knowledge, if I didn't know that bombs were locked by our Morphball, then yeah, you could argue sitting in Triclops pit to do the checks and then go immediately into Fendrana would be good. But because we know where bombs are, I would just sit, hunker down, pick those up immediately. Because then you've got Ruin Shrine, you've got the PB for Echoes, and Ruin Nursery. Then you've got the Pipe Tunnel and Gallery, you've got Vault. There's a lot in Chozo we can do with those bombs.
Yeah. I mean, the save reset itself with the info about bombs given is a very good play for acquiring bombs early. But also we it's just biting me that we isolate Storage Cavern with that.
Yeah. Now, this is what I was about to touch on, is that Dacian might be doing some training chamber wall crawl shenanigans here,
Oh, we
just
are,
to
yeah.
visibly see what is in training chamber further down the line, which is good use of time while we are currently sat in BK.
Oh, interesting.
And
There's Varia in Logic.
yeah, the grapple beam has turned up, so Varia is now definitely the next item Prime was expected to get. Saw that PCA had an artifact, so OP required. Well, it's not a Ginger Chris seed if the PCA isn't there. I have like a 95% track record of having Elite Quarters or PCA generated But no,
Now
Altair.
that
Oh, go on.
now that makes me curious because I know that Dacian was learning PC. So given how early we hit Go mode here, we might be seeing PCA walkroll on this.
No, it's just a burger and training chamber.
But we're going to continue looking forward into Magma Pool, I think.
Oh, it just hits the trigger here. Bit of a nuisance, but
That shouldn't be too bad as long as we transition into Magma Pool, given that it will... Oh!
and we have a red key in training chamber access, so that could come back to haunt us later down the line.
Yeah, that actually... Oh, there was Mothball. It wasn't Dark Missile Trooper.
Oh, okay.
That is a backtrack, for sure. Well, okay, given with landing side start, it's not as bad as with main energy controller.
Yeah. So, I don't know what Dacian's thinking here. Potentially was about to try and...
Dacian thinks we're playing Echoes.
Can you ceiling warp without bombs here?
To be honest, I'm
Maybe just realised they don't have bombs?
I'm very unsure of that, TBH.
It looked like they were trying to.
I've not seen someone ceiling warp in there.
Yeah. But no, Morph Ball showing up is very good. So Dacion's going to go and run and grab the Morph Ball bombs and then start doing some bits of cleanup. The training chamber wall crawl is very good just for information purposes. There's nothing major behind that. But we obviously don't know what that red key is just yet. So Altair has concluded they're also in BK mode as well. So is returning to Root Cave to do the dashes while they are sitting just waiting on that morph ball to show up. And Java is retracing some steps here and picking up some amber. So we'll hopefully go ahead and catch up shortly as well. So Dacian is taking the immediate option of do Frigate Crash Site, which is good, may as well while we're here, and finds Emerald, the worst visor, the worst translator. No one needs to read green. No one needs to read green. You only ever need amber. Amber's the best one. Gives you all the hints.
I feel required to say that in my race that went down a few days ago, my Ice Beam hint was in Torvis. So
well, you can blame other people about the Ice Beam hint. At least you got one, but it's their fault for putting it on Emerald. But no, that Emerald visor is good for us because it will just give us more hint knowledge once we get access to Torvis. Which still
also,
a ways out.
This is a very good decision of carries right now, given that GMFC escaping is now logical with Emerald.
Oh, it is? Yeah, you can just go all the way through, check what's under the save station, and then head back out Violet.
Well, with landings, I'm not that sure about how the logic works for this, but with landing side start, it is going to be possible to do any... Oh, screw tech. It should be possible to do anyway, simply for the reason that we can actually just trigger Alpha Splinter. If we're not starting a main energy controller, we are still able to just go in, as far as I'm aware of.
Yeah, the gates will be down, yeah. But at least gives you a way out. Oh. Oh. And there's Wave Beam.
Placed.
So, Light Beam, Bombs, and Wave Beam all in Ruin Shrine.
Yeah, that was a packed Ruin Shrine. So, in the Prime tournament, this was the nightmare of a lot of runners, because this room boomed in the amount of progression it had. So now we're going to see... Oh, Suit on Tumors!
Oh, did we miss that? Someone screen grab that, I want to see it.
Oh, Space
Jump. And Space Jump in Tower Chamber for Prime 2. Both players are going to be schmoving now. That screw attack is now fully online.
Wait, did Days just decide to not pick up Tower of Light?
That's a good question. He's kind of out of there far too quickly. Just giving up Tower of Light. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't like just immediately isolating that.
There might be... Oh, Echoes finds a boost ball under the Emerald save station. Now, Dacian
Strength
is
entrance.
doing the initial Hive Mecha loop here to get the extra few items. They might be going for this power bomb that's here, because it will be good for Echoes. Yeah, it looks like an Altair screen. They're just going to go and do some fly swatting while they're waiting on that Morph Ball to show up. And the Seeker launcher is an Aegon Waste, so that's something to be aware of as well.
That might give us early Torth's entrance. And with Emerald and Light Beam, Underground Tunnel might seem to have something.
If we see Dark Visor shortly, then we have access to dun 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 Sank entrance. We have all of the tools. So STK on UMOS, if that hint earlier on, Morpheus' flamethrower. That is good to know. If that suit hint earlier was true, then yes, we have a suit on 2 Moss because an STK was on 1 Moss.
And also then the question is, what kind of suit? Is it light suit? Is it phase-on? Or is it just gravity?
Oh, please be phase on. Please give me a UMOS 2 phase on suit. Or it's progressive.
Oh, progressive,
Oh.
so it's light suit, yeah. Well, just
It could
don't
be
have
dark suit. Could horror. No, because you need dark suit to do quad, don't you, logically? I think.
I'm pretty sure you do on this combat settings.
Yeah, because we don't have, like, Dark World-based stuff does require us to have a suit to accomplish it. So I think quad without a single suit is not expected, but I could be wrong. My Echo's knowledge is not as intricate as the Prime knowledge.
Vanilla light suit.
Dark suit is required for quad. Yes, okay. So, for partners in Prime, I don't think we're ever going to see that. I'm pretty sure Lucarius is quite comfortable with a lot of the light suit skips. They can wall crawl the majority of them. I think the only one that is potentially a little questionable is like Hive Entrance, but I know that they have been practicing that. Whether they pull it out is a different thing. From Altair and Java, I'm not too sure as to what their trick knowledge extent is. So that's something that we'll need to kind of see as we get closer to that. But Altair does get their Morph Ball and are now schmoving. The only problem here is they don't have bombs, by the looks of it.
I just realized those space jump. That space jump wasn't a terrible moment. Oh, spider. Oh, yeah, that is Sank entrance logically.
Light suit required for Hive entrance phase on suit. Please give it. Oh, Cesarine, don't ask. I'll give you a seed for that. I will achieve that for you.
Oh, looks like Lucarius. Wow, we're going for Grand Wind Chamber.
This is good. With the screw attack and with that stolen power bomb, you may as well get these checks out of the way.
I just realized that Echo space jump was a bit mean considering that Lucarius already jumped down the tube and was not able to go back for the ship item.
So was an SDK in this access room. I can never remember what we call access. There we go.
Also, Echo Visor on
Ooh.
Zoid.
You are a little ahead of me, I think.
I'm looking through the restream feed.
Yeah, I'm looking through it as well. I'm still seeing partners in Primo and Zoid.
Yeah. Dacian found X-Ray.
Oh,
as
it was
the
behind
second order.
Zoid. Right, it was behind Zoid. Okay.
Yeah.
When you said on Zoid, I was thinking, no, he's still fighting it. I was confused.
Yeah, I'm using like the six screens of mine and have every screen open at the same time.
Just a missile. Nothing too exciting. Now, what does Echo do for us then? Echo definitely suggests a little bit more sank shenanigans, but until we see Annihilator, I don't think it does us too much.
There are some things we can do with just Echo. We could, in theory. Well, in theory, Echo would open up Hive Gyro as an example.
Yeah, but I think logically not till Darksuit shows up for the most
Yeah,
part.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. But
Oh, that's a multiplayer pickup up there. In Temple Assembly side.
yeah, it should be unlimited ammo, I think, because I think Java picked that up earlier on. Yeah.
Yep. I think we have seen that already.
The
Both
runners have probably checked, but we may have missed it.
Yeah.
Because I think when the stream went down for us, that was when Lucaris was
Yeah,
passing
it does.
through. And I know that Java or Altair would not have had Space Jump at the time, so they might not have gone for the kind of the harder trick to identify it.
Also, Altair is finding bombs.
Let's go. That's what we like to see, and there'll be a wave beam ever so shortly.
That ruined shrine, holy.
That's not a ruined shrine. That is a gold mine shrine thing. I was trying to make a joke. It didn't work.
Also,
Right, so-
we like to see early beams for the Prime players, given that Prime players can be. Oh, that was very close.
Very
Given
close.
that Prime players are.
Something up there then. I missed what Dacian was going for.
Probably. I can't.
But it's not important enough to keep retrying it, so it might have been like an extra PB or something.
Well, we do have logical anti-chamber right now. I think Dacian is just going for the worst possible combination, being Vanilla Ice Beam.
So Altair is now making their way to Tower of Light. Hopefully they will collect the space jump, but it looks like they're going for Tower of Light itself. Maybe we'll get to see what it is. Is going for the cutscene variation of the room, so we're going to trigger the cutscene and see what the item on top is as a result of that. And it's just an E-tank. So yeah, it looks like Dacian hasn't missed out on anything if they accidentally forgot about it. So there's Space Jump for Java, which is good. And Dacian is now heading towards Reflecting Pool, and we'll do their vanilla ice check.
What should be Ice Beam?
Please be Ice Beam. Oh.
Just have a look. Oh.
I love how some players expect the worst. So they look at it and